Some things just feel right. The man picks her up, he pays for the date, her father walks her down the aisle. These are traditions that most of us recognize, and many of us have lived. But have you ever stopped to ask why we do them?
Why do we do it?
They're not random. They're not just relics of the past. These norms are rooted in something far deeper, the way that God made men and women. See, God made men to lead, protect, and provide. He made women to bear children, manage the home, and help their husbands fulfill their vision. That's why these traditions exist. They're not meaningless rituals, but symbols and expressions of our God-given roles. In this video, I'm going to walk through 10 common customs from dating, engagement, and marriage that come straight out of the Christian worldview. Our culture calls them traditional, but that word undersells them. They're not just old, they're biblical, and they're worth preserving. For each one, I'll also show you the distortion, the modern rejection of God's order in favor of a lie called egalitarianism. Egalitarianism doesn't just teach that men and women are equal in value, which they are, it insists they're equal in role.
Women can do anything a man can do.
No distinctions, no headship, no design to follow. So it's no surprise then that each of these time-tested norms are being replaced. Not with something better, but with a distortion that denies the roles that God gave us. Tradition number 1, the man asks her out and proposes. From the very beginning, it's the man who initiates.
Will you go out with me?
He asks her out, he plans the date. Later in the relationship, he's the one who proposes marriage.
Will you marry me?
This pattern reflects his God-given role as the leader. He pursues, he takes initiative, he sets the course for the relationship from the start. Today, more women are taking the lead, asking men out, and worse, proposing marriage. But when a woman gets down on one knee, it flips the natural order. She puts herself in the masculine role and forces the man into the feminine one. She is taking the leadership and initiative as to their future, and she's asking him if he'll join her. This undercuts his manhood. Tradition number 2, the man pays for the meal. On a date, it's traditionally expected that the man pays.
If I say yes and we go on a date for dinner, how are you going to pay?
He covers the cost of the meal or the outing, showing that he's willing and financially prepared to care for her from the very start.
I'll provide for you amply.
This tradition reflects his God-given role as provider, as Paul says in his letter to Timothy, but if anyone does not provide for his relatives, and especially for members of his household, he is denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. So the man bears the financial burden, and by paying, he demonstrates his readiness to care for a wife and eventually a household. The distortion of this is couples splitting the bill, or worse, the woman paying for the man, symbolizing her in the role of provider, which undermines the man's role.
No, I'm upset because you asked me on a date and you're asking me to split the bill with you. It's a respect thing.
I just don't know you that well.
I would really appreciate it if you took care of the bill because you asked me out, but if you can't, that's fine.
It is 2024 and I don't know you that well.
Honestly, I'm getting so angry right now. I would like if you just left. I will take care of it. I really don't want to hear from you.
You'll take care of it?
Yes.
I mean, I might actually let you do that.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
You pay for your half, I'll pay for mine, since we're not gonna see each other again.
I'm sorry. I really was trying not to hurt your feelings. It's not going to work out, but...
I think it's totally fair for you to pay for your share of a meal. I'm gonna go to the men's room. Get your wallet out.
He invites you here and then
Yeah.
wants you to pay him? All right. You're being honest and that's good.
You don't think I have to...
Oh, hell no.
I have 2 daughters, so you don't have to ask me.
How much should the bill be? What is the bill?
$80.42.
Here, put this on my credit. You're off the hook.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Tradition number 3, the man picks her up and drives. Traditionally, the man is the one who picks up the woman for the date and he drives her to the destination. This reflects his role as leader, setting direction, taking initiative, and guiding the relationship. She follows his lead, trusting him to get them where they're going. The distortion is when the woman picks up the man and drives. In the past, young men prioritized getting a driver's license and saving up for a vehicle, because picking up your date was part of being a man.
Hop in.
But today, more young men are delaying both. When a woman has to pick up her date because he doesn't even have a car, it's a clear sign he's not ready to lead or provide.
seriously, how are you guys dating men out here that don't drive? Like, I literally can't. Like, we went out recently, my mom and her fiance does drive, but we were going out somewhere and they were asking me if I was gonna drive, and I was like, he should drive because he's the man. And he kind of like laughed it off and was like, ha ha ha. But I was dead serious. Like, that's literally how I feel. Like, I feel like men should drive. So when you're dating someone that doesn't drive and doesn't have a car, how are y'all doing it out here?
Tradition number 4, the man walks on the outside of the sidewalk. When walking together, the man traditionally walks on the outside, closest to the street. That's because vehicles are the biggest threat to pedestrians, and there's always a risk of a car veering off the road. This simple act reflects his role as protector. He's putting himself between her and the danger, signaling that if anyone is going to get hurt, it will be him. He's taking the risk even in the little things to shield her.
Here's the psychological reason so many women like the sidewalk rule. And in case you're not informed, the sidewalk rule is when a man walks on the outside of the sidewalk closest to the cars. It's because women want to feel protected by their man. And by him moving her to the inside of the sidewalk, it indicates that he cares about her safety and that he wants to protect her. And that ticks a box deep in our brain that tells us that he's a safe man who cares for us. So that's why women love the sidewalk rule, and you should definitely do it if you're not already.
Paul says, "Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her." So, a man is seeking to emulate Christ as the example who gave up his life for his bride, the church. There are other chivalrous gestures similar to this, such as walking behind her when going upstairs in case she stumbles, or walking in front of her when going downstairs to face any danger head on. Or the idea of women and children first when evacuating a sinking ship, like on the Titanic.
Women and children first.
All of these point to the same truth. A man is showing his willingness to put the woman first, even if it means putting himself in harm's way. Today's chivalry like this is often mocked as sexist or patronizing.
I'm sorry, excuse me. I see 2 sisters standing. Why are the sisters standing and the brothers sitting?
If we want to sit, we can ask.
Well, you ladies got to speak up for yourselves.
Same 40 years ago.
There's no statute of limitations on chivalry.
That's gendered and sexist.
And polite.
And patronizing.
And polite.
But it's not sexism, it's bestowing honor on the woman. Tradition number 5, the man asks her father for her hand in marriage. Before proposing, the man traditionally seeks permission from the woman's father.
I am asking your permission to marry your daughter.
It's a formal and respectful act that acknowledges that the woman is under her father's authority. Scripture says, "For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church." So in a biblically ordered family, children are under the authority of their parents, but even the mother is under the husband's authority. This places the father's leadership at the top of the household. So by asking for his permission, you're recognizing him as the head of the home, and you're asking to take on the responsibility as her new head. This honors the biblical structure of the family. The father has led, protected, and provided for his daughter, and now the suitor is asking to assume that responsibility.
I promise you, sir, I will love your daughter wholeheartedly.
Many skip this step entirely or mock it as patriarchal. The father is sidelined as if he no longer has a role in the daughter's life or marriage.
Can I have your daughter for the rest of my life? Say yes, cause I need to know. You say I'll never get your blessing till the day I die. Tough love, my friend, but the answer is no. I'm gonna marry you anyway. Marry that girl, marry you anyway. Marry that girl, yeah, no matter what you say.
Tradition number 6, the woman receives the engagement ring. During a proposal, the man gives the woman an engagement ring. He prepares for it, purchases it, and places it on her finger. It's a one-sided gift, and that's intentional. This act reflects male initiative and provision. He pursues, he gives, she receives. It was historically an expensive gift to pledge his commitment to her and show his ability to provide. The cost of the ring was a public sign that he could care for a wife and build a household. In some places like Sweden, couples exchange dual engagement rings. This erases the biblical picture of a man's initiative and leadership and symbolizes an egalitarian relationship.
So I'm just sitting here watching Love is Blind Sweden. Tell me why I am just so confused and only finding out about this now, that apparently in Sweden, when you get engaged, not only does the woman get an engagement ring, but the woman gives a man an engagement ring at the same time.
Tradition number 7. The father walks the bride down the aisle. At weddings, it's customary for the bride's father to walk her down the aisle and give her away to the groom.
Who gives this woman to be married to this man?
This is a visible transfer of authority. The father has loved, protected, and guided his daughter, and now he entrusts that responsibility to her new husband. It affirms that she has been under male headship in the father's home and will remain under headship in the new family. Some women reject this entirely, choosing to walk down the aisle alone as a feminist statement. But in doing so, they reject the structure of headship and the honor of godly fatherhood. An example is this article, which encouraged Meghan Markle to walk down the aisle alone and not pass, quote, from one owner to another. Here's one bride doing the solo walk down the aisle, and here's another couple who walk down the aisle together instead. Tradition number 8, the bride wears white. Wearing white on her wedding day has long symbolized the bride's purity, a public statement of chastity and honor before God.
I'm in my wedding dress.
The man has kept her pure. He hasn't slept with her, they haven't moved in together. Her purity has been reserved for the covenant of marriage. This tradition reflects the biblical picture of the church, as scripture says, so that he might present the church to himself in splendor without spot or wrinkle or any such thing, that she might be holy and without blemish. That passage is actually about marriage and how it reflects Christ's relationship with the church. Just as Christ sanctifies and presents his bride spotless, the husband is to lead, love, and protect his wife in such a way that she too is presented in purity. Symbolically, he keeps her dressed in white.
Look very good in white.
Today, the symbolism remains, but the reality is gone. The dress may be white, but the lifestyle isn't. Purity is mocked, not honored. The culture celebrates sexual experimentation and ridicules the idea of saving yourself for marriage.
I know that I used to be a pathetic, virgin loser.
Like in the movie The 40-Year-Old Virgin, where the entire premise is that not having sex by that age is pathetic, laughable, and something to be fixed.
Oh, knew it. That makes so much sense, man. Look, he's a virgin.
Tradition number 9, the wife takes the husband's last name. In marriage, the woman traditionally takes the man's last name. This isn't a small thing, it's a public statement that she has joined a new family under the husband's leadership.
I want your last name, Kenny.
Genesis describes marriage as two becoming one flesh. Taking his name is a visible expression of that oneness, a sign that she's joined his household and has come under his headship.
I want to be your wife.
It shows she's embracing the role of helpmeet, not co-captain. Today, many women keep their maiden name or are hyphenated. This treats marriage as a merger of two co-equals in authority and role, rather than a biblical covenant where the husband leads. Celebrities like Jada Pinkett Smith, who is married to the actor Will Smith, added her husband's last name, Smith, to her maiden name, Pinkett. You also have the singer Carrie Underwood, who has been married to the NHL player Mike Fisher since 2010, but she only goes by her maiden name, Underwood. And then there's the UFC fighter Ian Gary, who changed his name to Ian Machado Gary to add his wife's last name, which is Machado, to his name. Tradition number 10, the couple moves into the husband's home or hometown. After marriage, it's common for the couple to move into the man's home or for the wife to relocate to his area.
We'll get married and move to his small town.
This reflects Genesis 2:24. The man leaves his father and mother and holds fast to his wife. He establishes a new household and she joins him in it. He sets the foundation and she comes alongside. Today, it's increasingly common for men to be expected to move closer to her family and join her life. This reverses the order and places the man in the role of follower. When a woman demands or pressures him to live in her parents' hometown, she has failed to leave and cleave, like Genesis teaches. What we call tradition is often just obedience to God's design that's been passed down through generations. These aren't just cultural leftovers, they're meaningful expressions of the roles that God has given men and women. Each one tells the truth that the man leads, provides, and protects, and the woman follows, nurtures, and helps build the home. These societal norms line up with and visibly reflect your acceptance of God's design for men and women. So don't discard them, don't mock them, and don't further the cultural drift towards egalitarianism by tossing them aside as outdated or unnecessary. Instead, honor them, practice them, and teach them to the next generation. If you want to go deeper into God's design for men and women, especially in marriage and family, I recommend God, Marriage, and the Family: Rebuilding the Biblical Foundation by Andreas Kostenberger. This book is a clear, thorough, and biblical guide to manhood, womanhood, and the roles that God established for the home. It deals directly with marriage, headship, submission, sexuality, parenting, and more, without dodging hard truths. Thanks so much for watching. YouTube has a recommended video for you above, as well as a link to my playlist on biblical manhood and womanhood. See you in the next video.